I'm a few days late, but do this right now. Stop listening to Mugador ASMR and go farm 8,000 points on the event and get improved quadruple magnetic torpedoes. These are the new best torpedoes in general, like basically everywhere in the game on auto, barring very niche situations. So they are worth plus 13 as your first priority for torpedo plates. So do that, right? Plus 13. And that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Well, the rest of the video will be evidence and proof of why they're the best torpedoes on auto. And I'll also be demonstrating my research. So this spreadsheet is the result of my research, and most of this was done last year in 2023. And then I added the new torpedoes here. So since this is a video about torpedoes, I'm not going to talk about Vanguard guns. If you want to look at the Vanguard gun sheets, then do start from CL notes and read the notes for limitations. In particular, you should probably disregard the destroy gun tab. But anyways, for torpedoes, I have 4 sheets, or 4 tabs, and that is normal versus tight, and moving versus standing still boss. So if we actually start with a demonstration here, these are, let's say, normal quad mags. Normal quad mags and normal gold quad mags and rainbow Quint mags were the best, or tied for the best auto torpedoes before this event. So sometimes the quads were better, sometimes the Quints were better, but now basically this new improved quad mag is better than both of them everywhere, anytime. So my simulation includes Vanguard movement, random Vanguard movement, as well as random boss movement, and it has torpedo targeting range, as you can see by this sector. And the torpedoes themselves have tracking because they're magnetic, right? So the circle around them is the tracking range. And basically this simulation should be very accurate. I trust it completely. So that's one torpedo at a time. And for these 4 tabs, for the data in these 4 tabs, since I do not consider damaged out at all, so I only pay attention to whether the torpedo hit the boss or not. So basically, column G, shells hit, and total salvos fired. And then from shells hit, we can calculate the accuracy and take stats, such as alpha damage and coefficient and all that stuff, armor mods, and then get the expected damage. So these 3 columns are calculated from the number of torpedoes hit. And for all of these, we only consider a single boss. So in mobs, you could get different results, but in mobs, the improved quad mags are still the best torpedoes. Like, you can just consider it that way. And all of these are mounted. So the torpedo is mounted on an off-tank, skillless Ayanami. So basically, Ayanami's reload and speed. But Ayanami does not activate her skills. So the way I do this is I run all the torpedoes at the same time in parallel or simultaneously. You can see it here. It looks kind of pretty. So all of the torpedoes are mounted on the third ship in the Vanguard. That's Ayanami. And then by running these simultaneously, I ensure that all torpedoes have exactly equal RNG in movement between the boss and the Vanguard. And I think that's enough sightseeing for now. So one thing to note is that here for the moving bosses, instead of using the normal boss movement, random movement, because normal boss random movement it's like the boss moves for a bit over 8 seconds, and then the boss stops for 3 seconds, and then starts moving again. That's a cycle. So that period when the boss stops will affect different torpedoes in different ways. So for example, if one torpedo reloads right as the boss is stopped, then that torpedo will have a higher hit rate on the boss, and that's not really fair to between these torpedoes. So in order to compare between all of these torpedoes, I made the boss keep moving randomly, so never stopping. So now for the actual difference between the improved quad mag and the normal quad mag. The improved quad mag has 8 point something% more damage, and it hits a lot more. So because the improved quad mag have 16 targeting range, that's the radius of the circle around the torpedo in my simulation, while the normal quad mags only have 14 homing range. And that shows up in the end expected numbers. So here against moving boss and normal torpedo spread, the improved ones do 17.5% more damage in expectation. For a moving boss and tight torpedo spread for destroyers, it's a 16% more damage. And then for bosses that are staying still, I should show that here actually. So if I comment this line out, then the boss will sit still. And the boss sits still in the middle of the screen, which means that all torpedoes get improved hit rate, but some get improved more than others. So you see the boss is just sitting there. So for a still boss and normal torpedo spread, improved does like 24% more than the old ones. And actually for a boss that's just sitting still all the time, the Mark 35 American quad mags, the ones that shoot in a line, they were actually the best. But now even improved quad mags just beats them through sheer hit rate advantage. So that's 24% over the quad mags, and then I don't know, whatever that is, over Mark 35. And in the last case where the boss is still and the ship is a destroyer with reduced torp spread, the improved quad mags is a whole 30% more damage than the old quad mags. And why is the difference so big when the boss is sitting still? So a lot of the time, the old quad mags, this is old quad mags, so these torpedoes go in and then they start homing at the boss, but they don't have a high enough angular velocity to be able to turn that fast to hit the boss. So that thing just like looped around the boss and went off. While improved quad mags have improved homing range, so they start turning earlier, and that in a lot of cases is enough to hit the boss with. And that was normal torpedo spread. So here with reduced torpedo spread, the normal quad mags will again like miss some torpedoes. Like the top one just went off. improved quad max will get 100% hit in that case. So basically, the improved quad max is good, like 16% to 30% better than the old quad max, as well as old Quint max